Значить, пробачте, колись, по-моєму, Віктор Михайлович Глушков, я колись помилитися, приводив такий приклад некоректної постановки, скажімо, це англійський.
Larysa, will you continue, please?
Let me demonstrate my presentation, please.
Yes, you have now to share. You have an opportunity. You can share it now.
The function of the sub-ontology of station model is to align the enterprise database, the technical operating rules of enterprises, and the building standards of Ukraine for railway transport norms. For the development of the station model ontology, the track passport ontology, and the restriction from the building standards norms for the connection track ontologies are imported. They are linked by necessary and sufficient condition, bridging axiom. The track goes from the state of the enterprise track to the state of the Larysa track. It becomes possible to use reasoner for the work that is currently performed by the workers by formalization of track passport data and the restriction from the building standard norms. The competency.
I'm terribly sorry. How much time do you need to conclude your report?
Just 1 minute.
Okay, sorry. Yes, please continue.
The competency question is, what are the connection track of the station? Snap Sparkle hierarchy query is performed in Sparkle entailment regime to get track information after reasoning on the ontology. The enterprise database ontology modules and restrictions from the Larysa regulations were imported into the railcar model ontology and linked together. In the ontology of train model, modules of enterprise trains and to the regulations are imported and linked together. The ontology of freight model imports the ontology of enterprise freight modules and restrictions from regulations for the transportation of dangerous freight, which are linked together. And the conclusions of our work are a base frame model of ontology was developed, which allows for reasoning to support technological processes of railway transport corresponding to the Larysa regulations. It is shown what kind of knowledge can be used as a conditions for the work of the reasoner. The current system bottlenecks are identified. Suggestions for the use of information of normative legal documentation in automated systems are given. Formalization of instructions and increase of expressiveness of ontologies are intended to be extended by developing new constructs and linking and harmonizations them with higher level of abstraction ontologies. That's all.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Please, any question?
I'm not clear from your report.
What do you mean?
What purpose creation of your ontology?
There are lots of information systems on the Larysa, and they are not so quite integrated. And information is exchanged between the systems using messages, electronic messages, and it is done by the workers of the Larysa. And in my ontology, the systems are integrated in using my ontology, and furthermore, they are integrated considering the regulations, which is good because we can eliminate some mistakes of the work, and we can do work as it should be done, because we formalized the rules of the regulations, and ontology works as using the rules of the regulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next report is Electronic System All-Ukrainian Toloka Archival Card Index, Structure, Tools, Prospects of Development by Oksana Tyshchenko and Vladyslav Tyshchenko.
Good day, dear colleagues.
Good day. You will show us a video.
Prospect of development, the principles and
So we can hear you. Please, will you present your report? Oksana, we hear nothing. We can't hear nothing. There is no sound. Is it normal?
без звуку. Значит, надо читать. Так,
Okay, okay.
just
Just minute. Just second.
Okay.
обычно.
Я отвечаю без...
Dear colleagues, we offer to your attention electronic system All-Ukrainian Toloka Archival Card Index, Structure, Tools, Prospects of Development. The principles and tools of collective recognition of manuscript of the Archival Card Index, ACI. The recognition requires considerable the effort and the time, so the platform All-Ukrainian Toloka Archival Card Index has been created on the ACI website, which provides unlimited simultaneous online participation of volunteers for manual card recognition, crowdsourcing. Collective access to the collection of the transcribed documents is accompanied by instruction and samples of execution. Everyone can join our common cause, the recognition of handwritten cards of the ACI. ACI was compiled in the 20s of the 20th century for the work of the Commission of the Dictionary of the Living Ukrainian Language, compiling of the All-Ukrainian Academy of Sciences. Several iconic Ukrainian dictionaries of the golden age of the Ukrainian lexicography were compiled based on this card index. First of all is the Russian-Ukrainian dictionary by Krymsky and Yevhenov. In the 1930s, after the purity of the national junk, the ACI was temporarily abandoned. In the 1950s, it was combined with the millions of cards of the new created lexical card index of the Potebnya Institute of Linguistics. Later, the lexical card index included the forgotten ACI, inherited the Institute of the Ukrainian Language. ACI are materials with a lost and forgotten history. It should be updated in a modern field of question to find answer to common problems of restoring and strengthening of the Ukrainian language identity, which were the subject of our previous researches. ACI was prepared mainly for translated dictionaries. Headwords are usually accompanied by a quote and by a passport of the source. First, they are the materials of the lexicography, which shows the dynamic of scientific research. Secondly, the valuable linguistic facts recorded both in the title words and in the quotation, which can be explored from the points of view of both the individual and the collective linguistic creativity. The preparation stage of ACI digitization became possible thanks to the Toloka crowdsourcing. Hundreds of volunteers joined the All-Ukrainian action, preserved the archival lexical cut index, and manually processed about 6 million cuts in order to choose 350,000 cuts with the archival stamp. In 2018, the Institute of the Ukrainian Language of the National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine created an electronic system, ACI. The project was supported by the Ukrainian Cultural Foundation. A fragment of the ACI, about 3,000 cards, has already been recognized. That is, the text of the card have been manually transcribed. If the card has not recognized yet, it would only be viewed as an image. So today, the search for a given word, unrecognized card, and this array of ACI predominates, is impossible. The card recognition is the entering of text in the fields that reflect the microstructure of the card. For example, the heading additional word of descriptive construction, Russian title Sвернуться, Russian additional Свернувшийся, Ukrainian title Skeplený, etc. The manual recognition requires considerable effort at time. For 350,000 ACI cards, about 3,000 have been transcribed in offline version of archival card index, which was accessed several operators, participants of the project. Therefore, this is a point in using technologies that speed up this process. For example, there is a system of automatic text recognition, Transcribus. We can speed up the correction of cut within the framework of our new project, All-Ukrainian Toloka Archival Cut Index, an online platform of the ACI website for manual recognition of cut text by everyone instead. The main page contains of this toolkit. It states its purpose, gives instructions for work and prospects for the application of result. We present these aspects step by step. All Ukrainian Toloka. Word. Recognition of the archival lexical cut index. Cut making for the input language. Entering the text of the cut according to the fields, elements of the cut microstructure. How? There are 6 basic steps you need to take. Step 1, register on the site. Step 2, select a bookcase, a box. Select a card, blank, gray, completed, green, uncompleted, yellow, in operation, blue. Step 3, enter the following text in the formula for recognition ACI card in the appropriate fields. Card type, determine the exciting input language that is written with the first or only title word of the slide is Ukrainian Russian card. Ukrainian title word Сідати, Russian title word Садиться, quote enter the quote illustration, source enter the source passport of the written on the card, author decipher the source and written the name, pseudo, title of the publication as a condition of the name of the source to form a convenient search list, Franko, Ukrainka, and other. The author of the card in the slide is Kotyubinsky. We focus the operation attention on the important conditions of ACI card and truthfully. If the operator is not sure that everything was done correctly, he will press the difficult button. The card receives the start yellow. It will be checked and completed later. Step 4, complete it. Press when you're sure that everything was done correctly. Step 5, save. Step 6, next, choose a new card. Next, previous, all in row, next, previous, completed, next, previous, uncompleted. The structure of the form for recognition in this program is similar that the structure of the card is ACI. If they operate a very difficult card, they contain a lot of different information not by the form. He will skip and goes to the next card where everything is clear and simple. Difficult cards are for the next level for work in ACI more professional. In the All-Ukrainian Toloka ACI, they will retain the status of blank. Access to the site is possible for two types of users, administrator and operator, respectively with different levels of rights. The administrator might register operator, monitor the status of work performed, recognize and check the cards recognized by other participants.
I'm sorry, how much time do you need to finish?
Each card and cards.
1 minute, 1 minute, please.
Okay. Well, will you please finish?
And write to the tools and will expand the language base of linguistic research, will contribute to the creation of modern dictionaries, guides, grammars. In general, the ACI and the electronic resources we created for its processing will play an important role in renewal and presenting the identity of the Ukrainian language.
At the level of dictionary
Scientific studies of ACI in linguistic and linguistic cultural optics are promising and important. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting, your project. So please, anyone, question, please? Any questions?
Yeah, I have one question. Who is the user of your electronic system?
There is everyone who want to look the card system and to recognize the archival cards, and everyone. The system is online, opened in online. And
Okay.
так, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, no more questions.
Sorry, Pani Oksana, will you give in chat, maybe in chat, a link to your system?
Okay, exactly, yes.
Thank you very much, because your work is very necessary for Ukrainian linguistics.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have a technical problem.
Well, so let us listen to another report by Lubomyr Petryshyn and Mykhailo Petryshyn, entitled Visualization Modeling of Management Process in Knowledge-Oriented Systems. And before starting, please adhere to time limits, 5-7 minutes, okay?
5-7 minutes, okay. Hello, my name is Mykhailo Petryshyn, and today I'd like to present the beginning of the first part of my work, visualization modeling of management processes in knowledge-oriented system or managed delivery system. Of course, nowadays, the time of pandemic, it is very important to decrease the communication between people, and of course, as a necessity of increasing the management efficiency of the stock knowledge-oriented system of distance learning under different restrictions requires the use of different information technologies that provides displaying the system status and, of course, other properties. And the purpose of development is to present the visual modeling method of the course or knowledge-oriented system, as well as the development of management system on the example of the several linguistic scope. Of course, the note of this work is the presentation of the system analysis techniques, or business analysis techniques according to international standards, IEEE, ISO, or the most widely used international standards. The next one, the practical aspects, is in comprehensive analysis of the structure of course of management process of knowledge-oriented system, avoiding misunderstandings in the task formulation and user requirements gathering between the customer and development, and cost, reducing the cost of creation, operation, and operations management system. At the first step, we define the basic user requirements for linguistic school, and the second task was to define the organizational structure of the linguistic school, because all knowledge-oriented system operates as a part of territory dispersed branches. Here offers individual and group courses in different, in some languages. The next one, of course, we defined the functional system requirements. Here was created SRS system requirement specification for this task. Of course, the main system requirements task was the review of the current offer of courses, user registration, and secure logging, making payments, access of teachers, flexible system of evaluation, and of course the access to the owner of the school to different properties of the system. The context diagram, of course, the context diagram shows the data stream of interaction with external object in the system, and this context is you can see on this slide. To describe the processes. For describing this process, of course, we choose the BPMN models because BPMN notation is widely used for graphical display analysis of business process, for error engineering in system, and of course, it has a lot of advantages. In this presentation, I show only one BPMN model, just for interaction between the customer and the foreign language school, but in the article there are 4 main BPMN model. You can see it and understand what is the main process in the system and how this interaction, what is the interaction between the customer and the user of between user and foreign school. The next step was to define the system operation. Of course, the result of decomposition of the processes of control system in the definition of 2 systems and processes, and the details of this process you can see in this slide. The next is matrix model. Matrix model is the general process of system management referred to sub-processes defined by the customer, and this model allows to customer and payment, and this model allows to visualize the execution of individual system operation by the relevant department. Of course, it is the time scale and the relevant department. The next one is Gantt chart. The Gantt chart, as you know, allow to visualize in the time scale of operation system in each of the sub-process. The next improved model is network graph diagrams. Network graph is a basic derivative of grant model, and it allows to pass to UML modeling and represent such basic system parameters as time of the beginning and the end of the system operation, their performance, in units and well structure the system and communication channel.
I'm sorry.
2 minutes, please. Okay.
Okay.
The block diagram of the algorithm, of course, using the arrays. Using arrays, we perform the simulation of the processes, and the main results also shown on the right part of this slide. Okay, and in conclusion is based on the development of visualization methods, process functioning in difficult control systems, the basis and methods of modality, which have allowed to display the course of processes and to carry out the management of the visualization system. But I can explain it such in the way when we can when using these models of BPMN, Gantt, matrix model, we can just implement these models using low-code system like K2, Blue Prism, or we can also install this project using Camunda Scala programming language, and it is very useful to define and to find some mistakes in the processes of knowledge-oriented system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Interesting and informational report. So please, any questions?
Yes, I have a question. And how is the list of courses available for your users generated? Only on the basis of the chosen language, or something, or another characteristic?
The school provides the list of the course, and this list in the database, and of course these values the system get from the database.
Mm-hmm. Is your system a recommendation system or not?
No, it's not a recommendation system. This is just the first stage of modern knowledge-oriented system. Using this model, of course, we can create the system. We can use KPI for for people who work with the system.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your question.
Thank you for your report. So, if there is no more questions, I propose to move on to next report by Anna Bakurova, Maria Pasechnik, and Elena Tereshchenko. Development of a productive credit decision-making system based on the ontology model. So next report is Maria, please switch on the microphone.
Yes, now I will find it.
Switch on your microphone, please.
Yes, I'm searching this function. One moment, please.
Okay. Your microphone is switched off.
You hear me now? Yes.
Yes, we can hear you
but
now.
my presentation is rather interesting. Load again, and now I will another presentation.
You have some technical problem as far as I can see.
Yes, I have some problem with internet. I don't know why. It was so nice all day long, and now
I see. Okay, do you have it now? Or shall we switch to, you can fix it now, and
I try to fix it. I think that I will show you my presentation and
all right, but we now go to the next report while you are fixing your problem, okay?
Okay.
So next, testing tools for writing and publishing e-dictionaries by Tetiana Anokhina, Iryna Kobyakova, and Svitlana Shvachko. So you're welcome.
No, just okay. Dear all, thank you for your reports and fresh ideas you shared. My presentation, I'm sure it will be 2 minutes presentation. Building new electronic community today is very important as we see many interesting reports on electronic lexicography, and now I'm presenting my view of entering electronic community and testing tools for writing and publishing electronic dictionaries. We see that now we need to work with digital flow, with data, using different formal languages, different tools, and to compile our electronic dictionaries. We work with corpora and texts. We're testing open source systems, and some people invent bicycle and some test them. As for the tools, I was testing with my colleagues. We were testing open source systems with available templates, with HTML schemas, just in order to compile our own dictionaries. And I have to mention 2 popular tools among them. LaTeX templates and so as we talk about ELEX, other people were mentioning Sketch Engine, and it is produced by Matura and produced by programmers to use the help of linguists and translators to compile the electronic dictionaries without writing any code. So as we test Lexonomy and LaTeX, we find both systems very useful for future linguists and lexicographers because they open sourced and free, and all this cloud systems, so we don't need any resources as it might be costly to create dictionaries and use templates. We're aiming for the systems which will be compatible with WordFast and others. So we use dictionaries in order to have memory files and dictionary files that will be with such formats as CVS, TXT, TMS, and others, just to help translators work with data and corpus data. As we see in the slides, we have that template elaborated by Lex is really good. We can use it for creation our templates. We can just make the schema better if we do, but usually we don't touch. Don't touch because it can break. So we use as it is. We have see the HTML schema, but we switch off this model and work with another, just adding new words, new entries, and we can also add colors for the interface to look at good. If we say LaTeX template, we can also configure the schema, but we don't do this because it can be mistakes, and our document will not so beautifully formatted. And so we use the templates that are available. So for the academic implications, it can be used with our students and for applied linguists and translators. And today it's very important to be a bit updated, to use different tools to compile electronic dictionaries. And we are searching for that system that will include text, TMX, TXT, maybe CVS, and other formats in order to have all these the libraries working for translators and dictionaries working as translation memory files to make our work better and quicker. So it was quite a short overview with some templates like in Lexicography and LaTeX. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting. So please, any questions?
Yes, I have one. May I?
Yes, please.
Okay. What type of dictionaries are you developing using this Lexonomy or LaTeX?
Thank you for your question. In Lexonomy, we can use bilingual dictionary, and we can create bilingual and monolingual dictionaries. I like to work with bilingual dictionary. As we see on the slides, we are using English-Ukrainian direction. It is free, and it's you can use it with Sketch Engine. It's compatible systems, and they are working for free. You may use other languages. Just they have the template, the HTML schema, and you can add, if you use Sketch Engine, it will be a bit quicker. You can just, at the first level of putting entries into your dictionary, it will be far quicker because it's just not manual work. But you may do it manually. It's also good because with working with students, they're just learning new words. They don't need million words. They may just have 10.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more questions? And let me ask you, so your research results are intended for developing a theoretical basis, or if they also have a practical application in the future? For example, developing your own model or dictionary writing system for translators.
Thank you. We are testing a lot of different tools because some of them have some features we need and some of them not. But as for me, I'm using it with my students in teaching in applied linguistics. It's very practical thing to do, because if I was on the ground or something like that, I would work more. I will have more time, just because one person cannot make the system. Just what I want for it's like 3 institutes together to put them together. I like system like Trados, WordFast. I like Lexonomy, I like LaTeX, and I like the system that will include all the formats. But at the same time, there is not such a system that I would be satisfied fully. So I need several. I think that one person is not enough. I should work with a team. Maybe I'll just should find some project, because I don't want to be a volunteer.